Yeah, so in a single employer plan, you are responsible for every aspect of your audit as the employer or the plan administrator of the plan. And in order for an individual firm to produce an opinion letter to attach to your 5500, they've got to go through a very deep dive on all of your financials, all the records for the plan, all the payroll deposits, and make sure things have been funded timely, the plan's operating as it should, and ultimately they're going to issue that opinion letter and attach it to your Form 5500. A lot of clients don't realize that is a very expensive process until, bam, you go over a certain threshold of employees and you have an audit. So you got to call somebody, you got to go through the quote and figure out, what it's going to cost. And, I don't really want to publicize fees, but let's just say on average, an audit in a single employer plan could be, $15,000, $20,000, depending on the size of the plan. In a pooled employer plan, since it's a collective of folks and a sampling of the audit, the actual responsibility is a little bit less for the auditor because we already have all the bells and whistles put in place. We have all the systems. We have all those checkpoints that they're currently looking for outside of the single employer plan, and they give us a little bit of, credit for having those systems built. And they know that they don't need to necessarily dive as deep. Now, depending on your auditor, I can tell you I've been through easy audits in the single employer space, and I've been through difficult audits in the single employer space. The audit in the pooled employer space, currently my experience with that is much more difficult to get through and ultimately satisfy to get that favorable opinion letter. But that is the reason these folks joined these plans, was for higher level of scrutiny, higher level of oversight. And they're going to know that in 5 years, if the IRS ever comes knocking on their door, this stuff has already been looked at, and they won't have any ghosts in the closet that we have to correct at that